Hello everyone, it's me, Juan, Gamer54, by the video. Today, you're seeing the title, you're seeing it correctly. And you're seeing the, oh my god, 4 hours. Listen, I know what you guys are going to say, so I'm just going to put it up right now. I'm going to leave a timestamp right now, if you guys just want to get to the video, but let me explain myself. So, I know a lot of you are going to scream at your phone, your tablets, your computers, whatever device you're watching me, saying, "Wait, hold on, you didn't do a reaction to the originals. How dare you try to do a reaction on a compilation, man, you fraud?" First of all, ouch. But secondly, yes, I realize that I haven't done the reaction to all the stuff. I'm talking about the original theories with the Muse stuff in store. I get it. I understand that. Trust me when I say that I also know that this was going to be the response that some of you are going to say. But I will say that I kind of feel like I want to do this. I really do. And because Bale just makes so much great stuff, to be honest. It's not just going to be the SpongeBob theories. We're going to be watching all his other stuff because, hey, if the Muse stuff was so scary and, well, this is the month of October, we're going to give his other stuff a chance. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to be watching the theory that he's been making on this video and one extra mini theory because I know he adds some mini theories in there. And then when we're going to do that for all the 4 episodes that I did. From the Squilliam theory all the way to the evolution theory. Then we react to the original videos and then the new stuff. Got it? Got it. And also because I took a look back and god dang. The first ever reaction video of Bale went horribly wrong. I went back and the audio was terrible. No one could hear anything of the video except my voice. So, high volume, I'm high experience now. We got that all set away. Alright. Hey guys, welcome back. For those who went the timestamp. And let's go!
Squilliam Fancy Son. Squilliam Fancy Son.
Squilliam Fancy Son.
Squilliam Fancy Son III is Squidward's rival from high school band class.
Yeah.
So, I just took my private yacht across my private lake to my private heliport.
He's more wealthy, popular, and talented than Squidward, and he always rubs it in his face.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm living your dreams, Squidward. Oh, just succeeding in everything you failed in.
God dang, man. Why are you being so restless to this man?
To make himself seem more popular and talented than he actually is. He goes to ridiculously extreme and expensive lengths to humiliate Squidward and show his superiority, and I'm going to prove it. Evidence number 1, the pet hospital.
Okay.
We first meet Squilliam in Season 2, Episode 15, Band Geeks. The episode opens with Squidward playing the clarinet and getting a knock on the door.
Yeah. Oh, I love this episode, to be honest.
Oh, we're with the pet hospital down the street, and I understand you have a dying animal on the premises.
Dang, why you gotta slap it on this man's
Squidward gets a call
face?
from Squilliam.
Hello, you've reached the house of unrecognized talent. Please start after the... Sounds as though you've got a dying animal to attend to. Hey, old chum.
I believe that not only was Squilliam spying on Squidward to know when he was playing his clarinet, but he also hired the doctor to come and embarrass Squidward.
Dang.
We're with the pet hospital down the street. Pet hospital down the street.
We have never seen a pet hospital in Bikini Bottom. We've only ever seen just the regular Bikini Bottom hospital.
Yeah.
We've seen this purple dogfish before, but once again, he's never worked at a pet hospital. We've only ever seen him at the regular general hospital.
Uh-huh.
Well, Mr. Squarepants, it seems you have the suds. Are you ready for your treat?
Alright, so I know I shouldn't be pausing because this is going to be a long video. A long video. So I suggest you guys grab your snacks, to say the least. But this new compilation, I believe, is going to add some new, insight, new stuff that he's found out. Because ever since these videos, the first video came out 3 years ago. That's insane! But yeah, I'm not sure if this is going to be a compilation of just the old videos in there entirely, or he's going to be editing them. So this is my first time viewing, so I'm going to shut up now and just let the video roll.
Then there's this green fish behind him, and we've only ever seen him as one of the many identical paramedics that work at the Bikini Bottom Hospital.
Yeah.
We even see him at the end of the episode to take Squilliam away after fainting. So it is very likely that Squilliam hired these two and told them to pretend like they're from a pet hospital just to humiliate Squidward. Hey, it's me from
Oh,
the
okay,
future.
he is.
So this is an obvious one that I got tons of comments about. There is a pet hospital, and this doctor did do a pet checkup, and I was a teenage Gary. Still, I think the way Squilliam immediately calls and mentions the dying animal strongly implies he sent the doctor to mess with Squidward. Also,
Yeah.
I don't have like a ton to add to this theory, just because they haven't really released any new Squilliam lore, but I've still got a few things to say.
Wait, did he
and
not
that
show up in the
series
new
will have a lot
episodes?
more,
I've been
I
out of the
promise.
loop.
But this is just the start of Squilliam's elaborate lies. Evidence number 2, the Bubble Bowl.
Ah,
In the
the
same
Bubble
episode,
Bowl.
Squilliam also says,
I'm the leader of a big fancy band now, and we're supposed to play the Bubble Bowl next week. The problem is, I'm busy next week and can't make it, so I was hoping you and your
man tried to
band
set him
would
up.
cover for us.
but we've never seen Squilliam's band before, and despite claiming he's too busy to make it to the Bubble Bowl,
Yeah, I remembered this episode because, like, he said that, you know, his band can't make it, but not once have I ever seen his band. So it's like, why?
he still shows up at the end to watch Squidward's band. So both his excuse and probably his band were made up to pressure Squidward into humiliating himself at the Bubble Bowl.
Squilliam, you lying, deceiving bastard! I didn't realize that! Who is that handsome young devil? Hey, I know this guy!
Evidence number 3.
Hey,
Squilliam's
shout outs to
friends.
you.
In season 3, episode 8, Squilliam returns. Squidward leaves for work and conveniently bumps into Squilliam and all of his fancy friends, despite Squilliam not seeming like the kind of guy that would come near the Krusty Krab. He and his friends make fun of Squidward for working as a cashier.
Hold it! Don't tell me! You're a cashier! Lying always makes it worse.
God, why? Squidward, don't cry. Honestly, as I grow up, I tend to feel, you know, I feel sympathetic for Squidward. Like, back in the day, we all were like, yeah, I want to be like SpongeBob and Patrick. And, you know, I always hated Squidward when I was little because, like, he's so unfun. But nowadays, dang, maybe Squidward got a point. I do feel like Squidward sometimes in the mornings.
But I believe that this encounter was planned out by Squilliam in advance, and he hired all of those people to pretend to be his friends. Take a look
Really?
at Squilliam's friends. They're all nicely dressed. You kind of get the sense that they're fancy, high-status
Yeah,
members
but some of them
Bikini
were-
Bottom, but they aren't. This is more like what the fancy rich people in Bikini Bottom look like.
Ah.
These are just some regular Bikini Bottom citizens. Most of them usually don't even wear nice clothes like this. And most of them are regulars at the Krusty Krab and would already know Squidward as a cashier.
My patty doesn't have enough slime.
These are not
Ugh.
the type of people Squilliam would hang out with. I mean, why would Squilliam be hanging out with one of Pearl's teenage friends?
Oh,
You know, some people pointed out that...
wait. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Maybe there's another reason for this, but I'm not gonna get into that.
Squilliam, you have some explaining to do. Hi, I'm Chris Hansen with Dayline NBC. Why don't you have a seat right there?
I think
Oh, no. Squidward. Squidward, you gotta drop that mixtape. He not like us. He not like us.
the episode, Squilliam even admits to his whole life.
This is
being
Chris
fake.
Hansen.
I made everything up about my life. I have no yachts, jets, or anything. I was only trying to impress you.
And then, of course, he quickly says he's just kidding.
Is that true? Of course not. I'm filthy stinking rich.
But
Oh.
was he kidding? I mean, obviously he's rich, but
Yeah.
is there a nugget of truth in there? Evidence number 4. The statue.
All
In
right.
Season 7, Episode 6.
So far,
Squilliam has
episodes
to
that
pay
I
trash for community
watched at one
service,
point
and
or another.
Squilliam once again conveniently bumps into him and reveals he's cleaned up so much trash the city actually built a statue of him.
Maybe if you clean up Bikini Bottom, they'll build a statue of you. Oh, wait. They've already built one. Of me. I cleaned up all of Bikini Bottom in only 1 week.
Hello, it's me, I'm interrupting. So, a lot of people thought this statue was actually supposed to be of Squidward because there's no unibrow, but
What?
we can actually faintly see it right there.
Oh, wait. They've already...
It wouldn't really make sense for them to already build one for Squidward unless it's a mocking one, but Whatever, I guess.
He built one of me.
I believe that once again, this encounter was staged by Squilliam, and he actually paid to get that statue built. As Squilliam tells Squidward about the statue, a female fish admires it and says,
Bless you, Squilliam Fancyson. Bless you.
but if you remember,
All right,
this is
stop
one of those
writing.
friends Squilliam likely paid, making her whole comment feel very fake.
Stop
By the
writing.
end of the episode, Squilliam's statue gets destroyed. A police officer approaches and they have this exchange.
This is your statue? It was.
Dang,
Admits
right on
that
his
it's
nose?
statue, not the city's. And why else would the officer give him specifically a ticket if it was city property? Evidence number 5.
Dang.
The concert. In season 6, episode 17, Squidward watches Squilliam play the clarinet at a big fancy concert. He receives a standing ovation, causing Squidward to leave angrily. But I believe this entire concert is a scam. Not only has the audience been paid to cheer, but Squilliam never even touches his instrument.
Really?
Once again,
Yeah.
many of the audience members were part of Squilliam's quote-unquote friends.
Wow.
We also never actually see Squilliam play
How
the
many
clarinet.
connections does
The
this
episode
man
ends
have?
Right after he's finished his performance with the audience cheering, and one member of the audience says,
He's such a great musician. He doesn't even have to touch an instrument to be brilliant.
maybe the real reason Squidward leaves so angrily is because the audience cheered for Squilliam even though he never even touched his clarinet. Maybe Squilliam is just as bad as Squidward at the clarinet and he's trying to hide it. Hey, before we get into the next evidence, here's a quick new thought I had. In
Really?
this video, I'm claiming Squilliam is a fraud in terms of his popularity and his talent. But
Yeah.
he clearly is actually very rich. But how? Well, I think the answer is in his name, Squilliam Fancyson III. He was obviously just born into a rich family and was given everything his whole life. Just another interesting layer to the character.
Wow, okay, so you mean to tell me that everything was handed to him. He don't know the grind. Alright, Squidward, alright, man, now that just made me hate Squilliam more. How dare you try to go and mess around with Squidward? Don't you got anything else better to do? My boy Squidward been in the trenches trying to get his money up. You don't know the struggle. You've been handheld your whole life. I'm sorry. I know I'm going crazy. But still though, that Squilliam had never known no struggle. My boy Squidward does. And it doesn't help that SpongeBob and Patrick make it worse.
William has gone to some pretty extreme lengths just to humiliate Squidward. But nothing, and I mean nothing, compares to what he does next.
Oh boy.
Evidence number 6, the music college.
Uh-huh.
In the same episode, after Squidward leaves the concert, he's approached by the headmistress of the Bikini Bottom prestigious music college.
Really? Alright, yeah.
The esteemed Squilliam Fancyson III, who we all came here to see perform tonight.
She mistakes him for Squilliam and offers him a position as a professor.
Yeah.
Squidward pretends to be Squilliam and teaches a class, only for the police to burst in and arrest him, all while he's being filmed on live TV.
Dang.
And I believe that this is Squilliam's most elaborate and most expensive scheme to destroy Squidward both publicly and legally. This encounter where Squidward gets offered a job is already suspiciously convenient, but listen closely to their exchange.
Alright.
Squilliam Fancyson.
But didn't you just say a minute ago that your name was Squidward
Two tentacles?
It is. No, I mean, no, I didn't.
Well, that's a relief. I mean, what kind of a moron would go to their worst enemy's music recital?
What kind of moron would go to their own enemy's music recital?
Yeah, how does she know? Hey, Internet City.
You're onto something, my guy.
How does she know that Squidward and Squilliam are enemies? If she knew
Nice,
who
I love
Squidward
seeing
was,
her in
then
that
why
city.
didn't she recognize him? Why would she mistake him for Squilliam? This feels way too much like she was hired by Squilliam to set a trap for Squidward. And if that's not enough, the headmistress's associate is literally just a guy from the paid audience wearing a disguise. He just threw on some glasses to seem smart. Squilliam knew that Squidward
Using the
couldn't
Clark
resist
Kent
the
I see.
opportunity to teach a music class, even if it meant breaking the law.
My very own music class.
Then
Come
we
on,
get to the
Squidward, you
Bikini
gotta at
Bottom
least have some
prestigious music
self-containment.
college, and right off the bat, there's something very fishy about this place. The building itself is very green and grimy and has a very cheap metal look. Nothing about this says prestigious, except for the big sign on top, which feels like the only new thing about this building. I think there is a very good chance that Squilliam just bought some old warehouse, then stuck a sign and some paint on it to disguise it as a college. I mean, look at these other schools in Bikini Bottom. They all have a very nice structure and a paint job, but this prestigious music college looks like a dumpster. Going into the classroom, not only does it have another one of Squilliam's friends, but if this is such a prestigious college, how did SpongeBob and Patrick get in here?
Dang.
Would you two numbskulls mind telling me what you're doing in music class anyway?
Sure. Patrick's New Year's resolution was to learn to play an instrument.
They say it was their New Year's resolution to take a music class, but you'd think it'd be harder for them to get into an esteemed music school if they just decided to go to it on a whim.
Yeah.
Seems like they're just letting in anyone to sell this ruse. Then, both the police, Squilliam and the headmistress, and a live news broadcast show up at the same time to arrest Squidward for impersonating Squilliam.
Dang.
If the extremely coincidental fact that all of these people suddenly showed up at the same time isn't enough for you to believe that Squilliam set it all up, I've got something that's going to blow your mind.
Bet.
Squilliam literally has the police working for him.
What?
Squidward Chew Tentacles, I'm placing you under arrest for impersonating a genius.
If that doesn't sound like he's been paid off, I don't know what does.
Wow.
Squilliam goes to humiliate Squidward are
Bro, how many connections? Okay, we understand that he's rich. He got it from inheritance. All right, I get that. But like, god dang. Even the cops? Nah, I don't buy it. Like, you know, there's multiple fish in the sea, you know? Like, multiple fishes in the sea. So, like, maybe that pedestrian yellowfish and that copfish may just be the same species, you know? Just different characters. But if that's... Oh, nah. Squidward, I am sorry. What did he do? What I want to know is, what did he do? What did he do to get Squilliam this mean? This, like, I don't want to declare like how old are they, but god dang, Squidward most likely had to be older than SpongeBob. So like, what did you do in band class? Did you break his clarinet? Did you do something, Squidward?
insane. He literally builds statues and entire buildings just to make Squidward feel inferior. But why?
Yes.
Why would anyone go so far to embarrass an old high school band classmate? What happened between them? What could have caused this extreme level of dedication? Well, unfortunately, we never really get much information on their past.
Oh.
I've spent hours reading through the SpongeBob Wikipedia and looking at old episodes, and there really just isn't any clues that would explain their weird relationship. I guess we can't solve everything, but either way...
Okay, I know he's probably going to come in and say something because, like, I don't know if it's me, but I don't think I ever heard a Squilliam ever since. Like, I feel like the last time I reacted to a video, I watched a SpongeBob video, was Squilliam after the whole, like, MTV sort of episode where Squilliam was showing off his house. Squidward's trying to tidy up his house so it can be showcased, you know, to the masses. That was the last time I see Squilliam. And granted, I haven't watched any new SpongeBob episodes yet, but still though. So did Squilliam ever show up?
That's my theory. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Wait a second.
What?
Wait a second.
What?
Season 6, Episode 5, Slide Whistle Stooges.
Uh-huh.
Just a normal episode where SpongeBob and Patrick annoy Squidward. Nothing really out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Except I have one question about this episode. Why does Squidward have Squilliam's
Hey,
robe?
yo!
That is clearly not the purple robe he usually wears. That is Squilliam Fancy Son III's robe. Why would Squidward have this?
And why are you looking at me while you're prancing away?
Is he about to say what I think he's about to...
No!
Unless they were more than just classmates. Could they have once been dating?
Dating?
Hey, yo!
What?
Wait. He's a grown man that likes the clarinet, classical art, classical music, and smooth jazz. Octopi are bisexual?
No way. That's
Oh,
not possible.
I didn't know that.
Support that. Right?
Don't be intimidated, Squidward. Try to imagine him in his underwear.
Oh no, he's hot!
No. We can't be.
I mean, what kind of a moron would go to their worst enemy's music recital?
It's been right in front of us this
Ah,
whole
so
time.
Squidward's a tsundere.
Last saw Evil harassing teenagers up at Makeout Reef.
Make out rave. Good
What?
times, good times.
Voted most likely to suck eggs in high school.
Holy
Squidward, no!
Alex Bale does it again. He does it again. He always has this way of being like, of the video obviously being a stretch, but he'll give you that one tidbit of it, the aha moment. He does it every time. He does it every time.
Dang.
Also, he calls him Squiddy.
Oh, wait, he said...
Squiddy.
That kind of sounds like a pet name for an ex, right? I don't know.
I mean...
Obviously, I didn't have a ton to add to this theory, since there hasn't really been any new Squilliam episodes.
Seriously?
I have a lot more to say in the other theories, I promise.
Seriously? There was no other episodes where Squilliam shows up? That's it? What happened to the man? Well, I mean, of course, SpongeBob has gone on multiple seasons, so of course you're gonna end up forgetting. But like, I remember they specifically bring back Bubble Bass. They brought up Bubble Bass, like, okay, he had like one major role like once, and that was, you know, the Pickles episode, and then he was basically like a background character, but then in the newer seasons he's basically back, and sometimes beefing with Mr. Krabs. Okay, I mean, you can't show some love for Squilliam?
So, before we get into the first official new mini-theory,
I
I'm gonna
bet.
end each of my old theories with a few thoughts on how I think they hold up, and where I think they rank among the others.
Oh, it's a tier list
I think
too.
I'd probably rank this as my worst SpongeBob theory.
Aw.
Even though I still think it's pretty plausible, it's just got a lot of issues with it. You can probably tell it's my first attempt at an actual theory, with some obvious things I got wrong, and the fact that a lot of the evidence relies on the continuity of very common background characters.
Yeah.
Obviously used very interchangeably in this show with no rhyme or reason. I still think there's some really good evidence here, like the design of the college, or the way this lady clearly knows more about Squidward than she's letting on. But also, you know, when you compare it to my later theories, it's kind of just a very basic, simple concept.
Hey,
I'm
humble
just claiming
beginnings,
the
man.
asshole
There's nothing wrong with
character
that.
is an even bigger asshole than you thought.
Dang.
It's really not that interesting or surprising. Oh well, we can only go up from here. Let's begin my first new mini theory.
Alright, bet. Alright, the imagination
Here's a
theory.
question I've been asked from the very start of making these SpongeBob theories. How is there fire underwater? It's probably
That is
one of the
true.
most
I always
obvious
wanted to gag.
contradictions in this show, and the creators will usually go out of their way to draw attention to the fact that it doesn't make any sense.
At least it's warm around the fire.
Hey, if we're underwater, how could there be a...
You shouldn't have been
Whoever said
talking,
this
Patrick.
obviously has no idea about the physical limitations of life underwater. Might as well throw these in the fire.
So finally, I will give the people my answer to this infamous age-old question, how is there fire underwater? It's just a cartoon. I'm
Dang.
not kidding, that's actually my answer. SpongeBob is not the real world. It's a cartoon. It has its own cartoon logic where absurd things like fire being underwater can happen. But that doesn't mean there's nothing here to theorize.
But what about the rock?
Just
How
because
is it
it's
moving like a
cartoon
car?
logic doesn't mean it's not still logic. If you pay close attention, you can see that there
And how's
is
that?
a consistent internal logic and rules to how this cartoon world really works. And I think how SpongeBob cartoon logic works is best explained in the season 3 episode Idiot Box.
Really?
In this episode, SpongeBob and
Oh,
Patrick
this
spend the day
episode.
playing inside of a box, but Squidward keeps hearing impossible sound effects coming from it.
SpongeBob.
I'm not gonna lie. I know this is gonna be embarrassing for me to say, but after watching that episode, my dad, you know, came back. He came back with a huge package that required, you know, a big box wide enough for a kid to stuff in there. So I literally jumped in there, closed the box, and I was, you know, making like driving, like I was Tokyo drifting that box. And then he was looking around for me, and he opened the box, and he was like, "Oh my God, What are you doing in there? I'm driving. In a box? Yeah. It was funny. Like his eyes widened up when he saw me in the box. Like I just pop out like peekaboo. That was funny. Oh dang.
And how are they creating these sound effects?
How are you two making those noises?
Imagination.
With their imagination. And this is key to understanding how the SpongeBob world really works.
Okay.
This episode tells us that anything that is imagined in SpongeBob can physically come to life. We can see this imagination rule in every single episode of the show. The most obvious example of this is when a character is thinking and a thought bubble appears above their head. But in SpongeBob, these thought bubbles are real physical things. Other characters can see and physically interact with them.
Wait, hold on! My pen is...
Yeah, the
Plankton! You'll never get me formula.
Truth or Square.
In a flashback.
Because...
Is it bad that I still remember? Do we ever like explain ourselves? Like, what was SpongeBob doing? Was he trolling everyone? Because I remember him saying like, "Remember the time me and Sandy got married?" What? Huh? I'm freaking out. I was like, "Hey, yo, what?" Like back then, I was like, "That never happened." Looking back at it now, like, "Hey, yo, what reason you had to say that, my SpongeBob me Bob?" Like, what do you mean that you married Sandy? I was like, I was not familiar with your game, SpongeBob. I'm not familiar with your game. God dang. I wonder if the episode Truth or Square, especially that moment, started the whole SpongeBob X Sandy stuff.
Things imagined in SpongeBob come to life. And this goes far beyond just thought bubbles. It explains how characters are constantly getting new props and costumes out of nowhere. Where did SpongeBob suddenly get this hat and sign? Where did he get this glove or all of these costumes that instantly appear and disappear? It's because SpongeBob is imagining all of these props. This can be used to explain almost every single absurd gag in this show.
Wait, Patrick, you're supposed to let me win, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Patrick is imagining himself getting beat up here.
Said it's gonna be a good one, just wait and see.
SpongeBob
Getting
is
cooked alive like
imagining the sun
Springtrap.
talking to him and burning his bedroom. And SpongeBob and Patrick are imagining that fire is able to exist underwater. And if you still don't believe me, look what happens when Patrick questions the logic behind the fire.
Hey,
It turns off.
How could there be a...
The moment they start doubting the logic of the fire, it disappears because they're no longer able to imagine it. This rule also seems to be limited by how imaginative each character is. Squidward, who never even got the idiot box to work, rarely ever manifests any imaginations. While SpongeBob, arguably the most imaginative character in the show, has created living characters like Doodle Bob and Bubble Buddy using his imagination, both of which have ended up continually reappearing.
Wait, there's a green. Unsolved theory led. Oh shoot, let me read. I found lots of promising leads of SpongeBob theories that I couldn't crack. If you want to take over the SpongeBob theorists after me, go ahead and see if I can't figure it out for yourselves. I'm never going to be covering these ideas in the future, so make your own SpongeBob theory videos about them. I added 10 leads in this video for you. Who keeps drawing Doodle Bob all over Bikini Bottom and why? Under Mr. Krabs' desk and bottle burglars in a dark alley in the Nitwit, is someone trying to summon Doodle Bob for some reason? If I were you, I'd take a closer look at Sandy.
Throughout the entire...
Alright, so I might be... Am I going to put my 2 cents and be the SpongeBob guy? I don't know. I mean, like, you were watching all the SpongeBob episodes, looking at the comics. Geez, I'm not sure if I'm able to take the risk, but shoot, I'll see what I can do. But yeah, I mean... Okay.
Show. Bubble Buddy even went on to create an entire bubble town full of bubble citizens, all stemming from SpongeBob's imagination. This theory also explains why Mrs. Puff gets trapped in so many delusions. They are literally manifesting around her because of her imagination. Okay. But what's the point of explaining all of this? Even if you didn't know the exact mechanics of it, you probably already understood that random stuff can just appear and disappear in a cartoon. I'm not really telling you anything groundbreaking. But Once you fully understand this idea, it adds a whole new context to so many things in this show. One of the most interesting being how dreams seem to affect the world. Specifically, SpongeBob's dreams.
Really?
In Season 1 Sleepy Time, SpongeBob dreams about finally getting his license, but then he crashes and Mrs. Puff takes his license away.
Dang.
This is exactly what happens later in the Season 2 episode, No Free Rides. Mrs. Puff gives him a license, instantly regrets it, and after SpongeBob crashes his car, Mrs. Puff takes his license away.
Dang.
So, did SpongeBob's dream predict this event, or did his imagination literally cause it to happen? Okay, you're not convinced yet? Don't worry. This is far from the only...
Maybe it's just coincidence.
In Season 2 Procrastination, SpongeBob dreams about his pineapple burning down, which happens later in Season 9, Gary's New Toy. In Season 5, he dreams about crashing on a Glove World roller coaster, and then it happens in Season 10, Don't Wake Patrick. Even dreams we don't see come true. In Squids on a Bus, Squidward becomes a bus driver for the day, and SpongeBob says this.
I've always dreamed one day I'd board a bus and see you driving it.
Now,
why would you dream of
I know what
Squidward?
you're gonna say. SpongeBob's a very long-running show. A lot of these basic plots were bound to happen eventually, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like how The Simpsons can predict the future. But in Season 4's Fear of Krabby Patties, SpongeBob dreams about everyone in the Krusty Krab turning into giant killer Krabby Patties.
Oh yeah, that was creepy.
That is a very weird and specific plot, and yet that's still exactly what happens 7 seasons later in Krabby Patty Culture, when Mr. Krabs feeds people experimental Krabby Patties and turns everyone into giant mutant Krabby Patty monsters that try to hunt SpongeBob down. It seems like all of SpongeBob's dreams of...
Okay, I was going to chalk it up for coincidence, but... Jeez. Okay, so SpongeBob has the power of imagination on his side. I guess we'll add that in his rep sheet. I mean, shoot,
eventually manifest into real life because of the unlimited power of his imagination. Okay, that's all pretty interesting, right? But you want to know something really crazy?
What?
While researching this theory, I discovered something insane. Honestly, it may be one of the craziest discoveries I've ever found in this show.
And by craziest, you mean dark?
Season 6 special, Truth or Square, all of the characters get trapped inside of the massive ventilation system beneath the Krusty Krab.
Yeah.
An entire network of tunnels and air ducts underground.
Is he gonna talk about, you know, the whole SpongeBob and Sandy getting married? Like, I know it, when it comes to Alex Bale, he'll bring out something dark, but like, is my man gonna say that canonically SpongeBob and Sandy are gonna tie the knot in the future? I mean, I guess.
At a certain point, Mr. Krabs gets separated from the group.
Crossroads. I'll go this way, and SpongeBob, you lead him down that way.
Okay.
SpongeBob then takes a break to tell the story of when Mr. Krabs told him the Krabby Patty secret formula.
Yeah, standard, yeah.
The time Mr. Krabs confided in me the Krabby Patty recipe. Mr. Krabs called me into his office.
And then something really strange happens. After the story, we cut back to the group, and Mr. Krabs is somehow back with them after previously being separated.
What? What?
I'm serious. There's no scene of them being reunited. He's just gone and then back somehow, and it's never explained in this episode.
What?
I mean, what was even the point of wasting time and money animating them split up if they were just gonna immediately bring Mr. Krabs back without any explanation?
I'll go this way, and SpongeBob, you lead him down that way.
You could literally remove the scene of Mr. Krabs separating from them, and the episode would make total sense. But wait a second. Look at how SpongeBob's story ends.
You can never tell another living soul.
Wait. What are you implying? I mean, well, now that I think about it, yeah, I mean, it was a little strange that, you know, Mr. Krabs was there when after that whole thing, after they just split up, but, like, still, I just felt like, you know, it was just a gag, like, you know, episode... You know, episode can't be too long. I know this is a special, but like, episode can't be too long, can't be a movie, so like, let's bring in Mr. Krabs. So like, maybe he comes in during that time.
Wait, hold on! Plankton! You'll never get me formula, not even in a flashback.
Plankton keep taking L's.
Imaginary Mr. Krabs from inside of the thought bubble grabs Plankton and throws him down a vent.
Yeah.
When we cut back, Mr. Krabs is suddenly back sitting with the group.
Uh-huh.
The obvious explanation is that this isn't the real Mr. Krabs.
What?
This is still the imaginary Krabs from SpongeBob's story who came to life. And the real Mr. Krabs is still somewhere lost inside of the Krusty Krab vents, and they never switched back. The Mr.
What?
Krabs they escape with is not the real Mr. Krabs. And every time we see Mr. Krabs after this season 6 episode, he's actually a fake imaginary doppelganger. And the real one is still trapped beneath the Krusty Krab somewhere. It's the reason
Bro,
why Mr.
how long
Krabs
will
in
he
later
be there
seasons has
then?
become such a one-dimensional character. Going from someone who was cheap but still genuinely cared about his employees and family to a one-note cartoon villain. It's because he actually was replaced by a flat, imaginary imitation of the original. And I know what you're gonna say. There's no way SpongeBob would
Yeah, he
imagine it
loved
to be
him.
that way. Well, think again.
Show me what you got.
Look at me. I'm Mr. Krabs. I love money. Every night I tuck me wallet in and tell it a bedtime story. Ooh, what's that you say? Me daughter Pearl needs an operation? I'll do it myself and save a nickel.
That'll do, SpongeBob.
Dang.
And that is the imagination theory. 7 more mini theories.
Bro. So you mean to tell me that the Mr. Krabs we've been ever since then was a phony, a faker? And that the real Mr. Krabs is down there? Oh, no. And you watch, okay? After this video comes out, someone's gonna make a creepypasta about, you know, the real Mr. Krabs coming up with a vengeance. Alright? But wait a minute. I think I remember in the evolution theory, if I'm not mistaken, in the evolution theory, he said something around like Mr. Krabs will eventually, like, you know, that he's only raising Pearl to make her into Krabby Patties just like her mom. So would that be Mr. Krab? Would it be like the fake Mr. Krabs doing it? Because like, yeah, I mean like if that's the case, then my boy Eugene free. My man Eugene, he's being hoodwinked. The phony is going to do it. Oh no. Bro. All this time. So that means Mrs. Puff and Eugene's relationship is all a lie. It's not the real Eugene. It's just a faker living his life. That's crazy. No.
Left, woo!
Alright, so that's gonna be the video, guys. Okay. Well, that's going to be the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like the video so I know you guys enjoy. Comment down what you guys think. Hopefully, hopefully this is like a new rebooted type of thing. Like, we're giving the audios from the old video will probably be given to this one. Because I know this one has to be better than the first time around. And leave down in the comment section below, what do you guys think about the imagination theory? Because, oh nah. Because that's... Oh, Mr. Eugene. Dang. Anyways, guys, subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch you guys later because I need to think about this.